If you are new here, please like the video and subscribe. Statistics show that only 15% of my audience is subscribed to the channel. So if this content has helped you in any way, I ask you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now, let's go back to the topic. Let's be honest. Do you feel stuck in your life? Like the days are passing by, but you're not really living, just existing. You once believed that if you worked harder, tried more, happiness would naturally follow. But instead, you find yourself caught in an endless cycle of disappointment, exhaustion, and emptiness. How many mornings have you woken up and asked yourself, what's the point of all this? Life sometimes feels like a loop, where the dreams you once had now seem like distant memories. You feel disconnected, not just from others, but from yourself. Even the smallest challenges can feel overwhelming. And maybe the worst part, you feel like you're going through it all alone. But here's the truth you need to hear. You're not alone, and your life isn't over. The frustration, the stagnation you're feeling, it's just a chapter, not the whole story. The best part? You can love your life again. The key lies in how you see it. In this video, we'll explore Stoicism, a path that will help you rediscover your inner strength and peace. Get ready to reignite joy, meaning and purpose in your days. Leave a comment. I'm ready to love my life again. And let's start this transformative journey together, right now. Number 1. Master the power of resilience. Life is never short of challenges. It's like a vast ocean with waves constantly crashing against the shore, sometimes gentle, sometimes furious. But why do some people stand firm and keep moving forward, while others are swept away by even the smallest wave? The secret doesn't lie in the circumstances they face, but in how they perceive and respond to them. Stoic philosophy teaches us that true strength comes from mastering our inner reactions, not external conditions. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This shifts the focus from events we cannot control to thoughts and actions that we can fully command. Resilience isn't an innate talent, but a skill anyone can learn and refine. For the Stoics, hardships aren't obstacles, they're opportunities to forge and strengthen our character. Consider the story of Mrs. Mary, a retired teacher who dedicated her life to educating and loving her students. After retiring, she expected a peaceful time with her family. But one day, she was diagnosed with a chronic illness that left her unable to walk as freely as before. For someone who had always been active and independent, this was a devastating blow. Initially, she felt lost and overwhelmed, as if her life had come to a standstill. But then she remembered a lesson she had often taught her students. When you can't change your circumstances, change how you view them. Mary decided she wouldn't let her condition define her. Instead of focusing on what she couldn't do, she started exploring what she could do. With support from her family, she learned to paint, something she had always wanted to try but never had the time for. Her early attempts were clumsy, but over time, her paintings became vibrant expressions of love and patience. Before long, she began offering free online art classes for other seniors, helping them discover the joy of creating, just as she had. Mary's life didn't just regain meaning, it flourished. Her illness was no longer a burden. It became the spark that led to a new chapter filled with purpose. Mary's story vividly illustrates 3 core Stoic principles for building resilience. The first is the dichotomy of control. Instead of dwelling on her illness, which she couldn't control, Mary focused on what she could influence, her creativity and ability to share joy. The second is negative visualization. By mentally preparing for challenges, she faced them with greater calm and clarity. The third is gratitude. Despite her loss, she cherished what remained: her family, her friends, and her capacity to create value. When we master resilience, life's challenges no longer become insurmountable barriers. Instead, they become stepping stones that bring us closer to wisdom and inner strength. This mindset not only frees us from fear, but also helps us embrace life with open arms, imperfections and all. Resilience isn't just a personal story, it has a ripple effect. When you face adversity with calm and courage, you inspire those around you to do the same. Your strength and hope create a domino effect, uplifting not just your life, but the lives of those you touch. Take a moment to ask yourself, what if you stopped fearing adversity and started viewing it as an opportunity to grow? How would your life change if you faced every obstacle with the calm and confidence of a Stoic? The answer lies within you, waiting to be unlocked through the practice of resilience. So, embrace the Stoic mindset, not to avoid hardship, but to transform it into strength. Start loving your life again, not because it becomes easier, but because you become stronger. Let this journey help you discover that challenges are not just survivable. They are the foundation upon which you can live more fully. Number 2, the answer to a better life. Life doesn't always bring the satisfaction we expect. We often think that achieving major milestones, building a successful career, starting a family, or buying our dream home will elevate our lives to new heights of happiness and fulfillment. But reality often tells a different story. Many people achieve all these things, yet still feel exhausted, disconnected, and far from genuine joy. So, what went wrong? The answer isn't in what you've achieved, but in how you organize and perceive your life. Take Tom, a man in his 50s who seemingly had everything one could dream of: a thriving career, a spacious suburban home, and substantial financial security. Yet behind this picture-perfect life, Tom felt empty. Every evening, he returned to a silent house devoid of laughter and warmth. His dinners consisted of work files and a glowing laptop screen, as though he couldn't allow himself to stop. In those moments of solitude, Tom realized that despite everything he'd built on the outside, something essential was missing on the inside. Stoic philosophy teaches us that while you can't control external circumstances, you can always control how you face and organize them. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." This realization led Tom to rethink his approach. He started delegating responsibilities at work, letting go of unnecessary projects, and learning to say no. Most importantly, he began prioritizing his family, sharing meals with his wife, taking walks with his children, and reconnecting with the people who mattered most. The changes didn't just transform his family life, they breathed new energy into his career. Tom worked more efficiently and found a deeper sense of purpose in all areas of his life. We often get caught in the trap of chasing other people's standards. Bigger houses, flashier cars, extravagant vacations. We think these things will fill the void. But life isn't like a closet you can endlessly stuff with things without ever organizing. If you keep adding without pausing to reflect, you'll only feel heavier and more lost. Imagine yourself as a mountain climber. A wise climber knows how to pack only what's necessary and leave behind what doesn't serve the journey. Similarly, a well-lived life is one where you simplify and focus on what truly matters. Look at your recent decisions. How many of them stemmed from your own desires? And how many were influenced by societal expectations? A man over 45 might feel pressured to maintain a perfect image, a well-kept house, financial strength, and a picture-perfect family. But sometimes, These pressures only make you lose connection with the very things you're trying to protect. Stoic philosophy reminds us that happiness doesn't come from doing more, it comes from doing less, but focusing on what truly matters. Pause. Reflect on your life, just as Tom did. Are the burdens you're carrying truly necessary? Let go of what isn't. When you simplify and focus on what's essential, you won't just find balance. You'll rediscover the deeper meaning of life. It's not a journey to achieve more, but to live more fully. Your life reflects your inner self. If your mind is unsettled, your external world will feel chaotic. But when you cultivate peace within, positivity will naturally follow. Like a garden, when you plant seeds of calm and intention, you'll reap a healthy environment and strong relationships. The journey to loving your life again doesn't require dramatic changes all at once. It starts with small steps. Speak the truth. Be kinder to those around you. Spend a few minutes each day reflecting. These small actions will accumulate, leading to profound transformation. Stoic philosophy doesn't teach you how to live a perfect life. It teaches you how to live wisely, to organize a life that is simple, harmonious, and aligned with your values. So, let go of the unnecessary baggage. Focus on what truly matters, and start loving your life again, one day at a time. Number 3. How to avoid insecurities in life. Life is full of uncertainty, no matter how meticulously we plan. Fate's unpredictability can sweep away our expectations, leaving us with anxiety, fear, and insecurities. We often find ourselves haunted by fears of failure, rejection, or even the ultimate fear, death. But what if the solution isn't to hide from these fears, but to accept them as an inevitable part of life? This is the profound wisdom Stoicism offers, teaching us to face life's uncertainties with courage, clarity, and purpose. Epicurus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Insecurities don't stem from external events, but from how we perceive them. For instance, the fear of judgment often fuels our insecurities. We worry about how others see us, whether we meet arbitrary societal standards. But Stoicism encourages us to reframe this mindset. Instead of seeking validation from others, focus on aligning your actions with your inner values. True security lies not in pleasing others, but in mastering your thoughts and emotions. Imagine yourself as a small candle in a dark room. Instead of worrying whether your light is bright enough to illuminate the entire space, simply focus on shining steadily. Your light will never be consumed by the darkness. This is how Stoicism teaches us to live, not by avoiding or fleeing the dark, but by standing firm and shining in our unique way. I've personally gone through a period where insecurities nearly consumed all the joy in my life. At the time, I was grappling with a significant personal failure. I felt inadequate, untalented, and constantly worried about how others were judging me. These thoughts made me withdraw from relationships, avoid new opportunities, and even abandon small joys I once cherished. One day, I realized that if I continued letting my insecurities control me, I would lose myself entirely. That was when I turned to Stoic principles. I started by identifying the values that truly mattered to me: integrity, love for my family, and a commitment to lifelong learning. I focused on actions that reflected these values rather than seeking approval from others. I began with small steps, spending time with people who genuinely cared about me, accepting my imperfections, and embracing my intrinsic worth. Over time, I discovered that life's meaning didn't come from external validation, but from living authentically. Stoicism reminds us that life isn't about avoiding uncertainties, but about living fully amidst them. By accepting life's impermanence, we can stop clinging to the illusion of absolute control. As Seneca wisely said, live each day as if it were a separate life. Don't let uncertainties hold you back. Instead, choose to live boldly, with purpose and true to yourself. Ask yourself, what insecurities are preventing you from living fully? Are you stuck worrying about what others think? If you let go of those fears, how would your life change? Stoicism teaches us that instead of fleeing insecurities, we can use them as tools to better understand ourselves and focus on what truly matters: integrity, meaningful relationships, and goals that ignite our souls. When we stop worrying about failure, rejection, or loss, we unlock the potential to live a meaningful and joyful life. It's not about racing toward perfection, but about embracing the journey of being true to yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experiences and insights might inspire others to love life once again. Together, we can build a community that supports one another in living with courage, purpose, and deep optimism. Number 4. The art of staying motivated every day. Life is an endless journey, each day presenting its own unique opportunities and challenges. But the motivation to keep walking this path doesn't always appear naturally. It doesn't come from perfect circumstances or ideal conditions. It comes from your choice to confront reality. This is the core spirit of Stoic philosophy. While you can't control everything that happens, you can control how you respond to it. When faced with adversity, you have two choices: let it defeat you, or let it make you stronger. Stoicism teaches us that happiness and peace don't depend on external circumstances, but on how we perceive and handle them. I once went through a period where insecurity and failure seemed to overshadow everything. It happened when a project I had poured months of effort and passion into failed miserably. The outcome not only affected me financially, but also made me question my abilities. I felt like a failure, not just in my work, but in my sense of self-worth. At first, I blamed my circumstances, pointing fingers at factors beyond my control. But after days of self-pity, I realized that staying stuck there would never help me move forward. That's when I turned to the lessons of Stoicism. I sat down and wrote out what truly mattered to me: integrity, a love of learning, and meaningful connections with the people I care about. I realized that while I couldn't change the past, I could control how I chose to respond to it. I started small. I focused on what I could control, learning from the failure instead of letting it crush me. I rebuilt, step by step. Not to prove anything to others, but to live in alignment with my values. This process not only restored my confidence, but also taught me that failure isn't an end, it's an opportunity for growth. Stoicism teaches that our emotions aren't determined by the actions of others, but by how we perceive and respond to them. Imagine someone insults you. At its core, those words are merely a combination of sounds. If you choose to feel hurt, you turn those words into real pain. But if you see them as insignificant opinions, they lose their power over you. Practicing this isn't easy, but it forms the foundation for maintaining motivation and achieving mental freedom. As humans, we have the remarkable ability to rise above our primal instincts. Yet many remain stuck in negativity, constantly complaining and blaming their circumstances. Think of the past as a rear-view mirror. Glance at it occasionally to learn, but don't stare at it endlessly and lose sight of the road ahead. I refuse to let myself remain trapped in self-blame. Instead, I focused on rewriting my story, starting with forgiving both myself and my circumstances. Your environment and the people around you play a critical role in maintaining motivation. If you're surrounded by negativity, your motivation will be drained. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of building healthy relationships. Seek out people you trust, those who will lift you up and encourage you when you feel discouraged. But remember, protecting yourself doesn't mean shutting yourself off from the world. Building walls to avoid pain can also isolate you. Open your heart to both risks and opportunities, because only by daring to live can you truly experience life. Stoicism reminds us that motivation doesn't happen by chance. It requires intention, focus, and the courage to face life as it is. Don't try to control the uncontrollable. Instead, focus on living with purpose, fostering meaningful relationships, and pursuing what truly makes you feel alive. Ask yourself, what's holding you back on your journey? What insecurities are preventing you from living fully? If you let go of them, how would your life change? Share your story in the comments. Your story can not only be a source of motivation for yourself, but also inspire others. Remember, life is a series of choices. How you choose to face it will shape your own narrative. Start by loving yourself and mastering your emotions. This will not only help you rediscover a love for life, but also unlock incredible potential you never thought you had. Number 5, becoming strong. Do not let things get into you. Our lives, when compared to the vast universe, are just fleeting moments, a tiny spark in the endless flow of time. This brevity reminds us not to waste our time on trivial worries or meaningless pressures imposed by society or even by ourselves. Stoic philosophy urges us to live fully, not allowing small matters to invade our minds and disturb our inner peace. Imagine you're steering a small boat down a rushing river. The current represents societal expectations, constantly pulling you in a direction you didn't choose. You paddle harder, exerting more effort, but it only leaves you exhausted. The current relentlessly pushes you further away from the shore you truly desire. Stoic philosophy offers a crucial insight. Instead of fighting against the current, let go of the oars and find a different course, a stream that aligns with you. This doesn't mean giving up. It means stopping the waste of energy on values that aren't your own. Ask yourself, what brings you happiness and true meaning in life? Take control of the wheel and choose your own path, even if it doesn't look like anyone else's. I recall a time when I felt completely drained, not because of a major project or career goal, but because of small, everyday issues at home. Every day I tried to meet everyone's needs, resolving family disputes, ensuring every meal was perfect, and striving to keep everything running smoothly. I placed unnecessary expectations on myself, and when I couldn't meet them, I felt overwhelmed and defeated. One day, I realized I couldn't keep living that way. I paused, took a deep breath, and asked myself, what truly matters to me? I discovered that instead of trying to please everyone, I needed to focus on creating balance and preserving my mental well-being. I began saying no when necessary, letting go of unimportant tasks, and accepting that not every meal had to be perfect or every issue solved immediately. This shift didn't just lighten my burden, it brought a more relaxed and harmonious atmosphere to my family. We often think we need extraordinary motivation to live fully. But Stoic philosophy teaches that you don't need motivation to live in harmony with your natural essence. A bird doesn't need motivation to fly, and a river doesn't need advice to keep flowing. Similarly, you don't have to wait for inspiration to act. Live true to your values and capabilities. If a situation at home is draining you, instead of forcing yourself to meet every expectation, ask, is this truly necessary? What should I focus on? Then begin to change, starting with small, manageable steps. Happiness doesn't come from controlling everything. It comes from accepting what we cannot change. The world around us operates in its own way, independent of our desires. Instead of trying to control it, focus on how you respond. For example, if you're facing challenges in a family relationship, instead of trying to change the other person or striving for perfection, accept that no one, including yourself, is perfect. This acceptance not only eases negative emotions, but also opens up a more positive perspective on life. Imagine a great tree in a forest. It doesn't worry about whether it's as tall as the other trees. It simply focuses on anchoring its roots deeply, drawing nutrients from the soil and growing to its full potential. We're the same. Stop being distracted by things beyond your control and instead focus on what you can do. When you live true to your nature, every action feels as natural as breathing or a heartbeat. Stoic philosophy reminds us that life doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need lessons from self-help books or hollow advice from social media. What you need is to focus on living fully in the present moment, doing your best, and accepting that some things are beyond your control. What do you think about this idea? Is there something in Stoic philosophy that you feel compelled to apply right now? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your stories and experiences can be a powerful source of motivation for others. Remember, strength doesn't come from controlling everything. It comes from letting go of what doesn't belong to you. Start by loving yourself, living by your values, and you'll find that happiness and peace have always been within reach. We hope the message in this video inspires you to overcome challenges and live each day to the fullest. Of the 6 lessons shared, which one resonated with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share it to spread the value, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss future content. Tap the notification bell to stay updated whenever we release a new video. At the end of this video, explore more fascinating topics through the recommended links. If you have any ideas or topics you'd like us to cover, feel free to share them in the comments. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you in the next video.